Hello and welcome to AdaniWatch. I'm Paranjoy Guha Thakurta. And with me from Ahmedabad in Gujarat, I'm very happy to welcome Shubham Rohatgi. He's a partner at Shah Dhandaria and Company, LLP. It's a limited liability partnership. It's a firm of chartered accountants. And Shubham is a young 29-year-old chartered accountant. So my first question to you, Shubham, is it was with effect from the 2nd of May, 2023, Shah Dhandania and Company resigned as the statutory auditor of Adani Total Gas due to preoccupations and due to your increased professional commitments. And you've gone on saying you regret it because you have other work to do, and the resignation does not result from an inability to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Will you explain what do you mean by this? That the resignation does not result from an inability to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. For a lay person, will you please explain what this means?
Yes. So as you might have gone through the results that the company has given and our audit report thereon, we have given a qualified opinion on these results. So this qualification has emerged from the absence of audit evidence with respect to the allegations made in the Hindenburg Report. So looking to that and the timelines of both the events, since we were planning to place our resignation, and these results came out in align with those dates. So we have just clarified ourselves in the report that this resignation and the qualification both are two separate events. And
And if I'm not correct, you mentioned that there are no other circumstances involved. Am I correct?
yes, yes. So that is we are required to intimate to the board that in what circumstances are we resigning. So preoccupation was the only reason that we have resigned.
Okay. One question that has been raised is if Shah Dhandaria and Company LLP has resigned as a statutory auditor of Adani Total Gas, why does it continue to be an auditor of the flagship of the Adani Group, which is Adani Enterprises Limited?
Yes. So if you ask me, the preoccupation has the crux lies in the engagement of Adani Enterprises Limited only. We have planned internally, and since the resources we had, we thought that the nature, extent, and timing of audit that we are required to give to Adani Enterprises Limited needs a revisit. And we have reallocated our existing resources which were working on other engagements to Adani Enterprises Limited, due to which the Adani Total Gas Limited assignment was to be foregone.
Is it correct that over and above Shah Dhandaria, according to Jugeshender Singh, the Chief Financial Officer of the Adani Group, there are 27 other chartered accountant firms that are engaged in conducting audits of Adani Enterprises? As you know, that Adani Enterprises has got it's got 156 subsidiaries, more joint ventures. And so if you look at the group as a whole, there are 7 key publicly traded entities that collectively have about 578 subsidiaries. And they have engaged in a total of over 6,625 allegedly related party transactions in fiscal year 21-22 alone. So what would you have to comment on these disclosures that have been made? And these are in the public domain and made to the Bombay Stock Exchange.
Yes, so just to apprise you, the statistics have changed for this year. The Adani Enterprises Limited Group now has about 210 subsidiaries. another 40 entities in the form of joint ventures and associate entities. So the tally goes to nearly 240, 250 entities. The number of auditors, so far they are concerned, have reached nearly 40. So during our audit procedures for this annual fiscal, we have been in touch with nearly all of the auditors. We have obtained their independence confirmations and other audit procedures that were required to conduct as a parent auditor.
Okay. Okay.
And with respect to the related party transactions, we have enhanced our audit procedure in that area during this year. And the resultants we have obtained are pretty in line with what the company is required to disclose.
Okay, let me put forth for you two sets of views. The first view is that expressed in the report of Hindenburg Research, which was made public on the 24th of January, which has accused the Adani Group of fraud, manipulation of stock prices, money laundering, related party transactions, etc., etc. What Hindenburg Research has alleged is that Shah Dhandaria is a small firm. It's, according to them, a tiny firm. And it had no websites. Its historical archives show that there were 4 partners, 11 employees, all of them in their 20s, like you, pays a small rent, 32,000 rupees per month. This was in 2021, of course. And that you were this firm of auditors, or the people who were conducting this statutory audit of a very large by Indian standards, conglomerate, a group with several, as we mentioned, a few hundred subsidiaries and so on and so forth, that this was somehow inappropriate. The word that Hindenburg has used is that you people are fresh out of college and you're inexperienced and you lack the capacity or the capability to handle the mandate of such a big firm. So I'd like your views on this, and I'd also then thereafter quote to you what Mr. Jugeshender Singh, the CFO, has also said.
Okay, so answer that to the allegations that were made on us. We have given an appropriate response to the audit committee, to the board members. We presented our response to the allegations. In nutshell, our response was that the competence and capabilities, our mother institute of Chartered Accountants of India, it does not lay any foundation or any differences between a young aged auditor or a veteran. The certificate of practice and our degree is at par for all the members. And I've been in the engagement of Adani Total Gas since 5 years now. So the audit committee is very well satisfied with my views and reportings that I've made. Also, the data that Hindenburg has used, the 11 employees and 4 partners. So the let's take this 11 employees.
And these pertain to the situation that prevailed a few years ago, if I'm wrong. Correct.
Years ago, yes, absolutely, absolutely. But then this 11 employees comes from the tally of LinkedIn profiles that our employees and partners have. So they couldn't find the 12th employee, so they've just written that only 11 employees are there and 4 partners are there. So they've laid hands on the Ministry of Corporate Affairs database, and still they were unable to locate that we're 5 partners right now, and we are a firm since 1990.
Mr. Jugeshender Singh, the CFO of the Adani Group, he has said that, it's the responsibility of a conglomerate like the Adani Group to develop Indian vendors. And he said if we support the development of small firms and they become proper, good accounting firms, so how is that a bad thing? I'm quoting from a media interview that he get. So would you like concur with his views on this in this regard?
Yes, so the situations that we were appointed as the statutory auditors for Adani Enterprises and Adani Total Gas. We had a professional relationship with the company in the form of internal audits and stock audits. And while the tenure of our predecessor auditor exhausted, we 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 were asked and we were offered a proposal to be appointed as the statutory auditors. So in that line, we accepted the assignment.
Okay. Shubham, I want to ask you to enumerate for me again, based on media reports and other information that is in the public domain, about the association that Shah Dhandaria has with Dharmesh Parekh. He is also a chartered accountant. He has a firm, and he has a very close association with the Adani Group now for a long, long time. If I'm not mistaken, at least about 6 or 7 years, 2007, 2008. Now, one of these documents that I accessed, it's published in this website called News Laundry, say Dharmesh Parekh and it quotes an unnamed chartered accountant as saying that Dharmesh Parekh and the Adani Group have grown up together. Now, there is obviously an association. You yourself, you had worked with Mr. Dharmesh Parekh's firm. You were an article assistant and also subsequently a professional partner. You were an article associate, an article assistant from August 2013 to September 2016. Then from October 2017 to May 2018, you were a professional partner. This happened soon after you became, you qualified as a chartered accountant. And we find similar kind of association with Harshil, Amish Kumar, I beg your pardon, Shah, Karan, Dinesh Bhai, Amlani. And Ankit Ajmera, he signed it for as an auditor for Adani Gas for the third quarter of fiscal year 2018. And then he joined Shah Dhandaria, and then he withdrew again in August 2021. So I'm trying to understand the association between Shah Dhandaria and Dharmesh Parekh.
So Dharmesh Parekh and Company is a separate chartered accountant firm. They're also practicing in Ahmedabad. I got the opportunity to be an article assistant to that firm. The firm was looking after engagements of Adani Group, where I learned all my audit assurance practice. Post that, I was offered a partnership by Mr. Praveen Dhandaria, who was offered this engagement of statutory audits after the predecessor, Dharmesh Parekh and Company. So we were approached and we were asked that since you have done this assignment and he would like us to be on the engagement team for Adani Enterprises Limited and Adani Total Gas. So that was how we got on board. So Dharmesh Parekh and Company and Shah Dhandaria and Company are nowhere related as of now.
Okay. Some of the comments that have been made in the media is that Shah Dhandaria and Company LLP operate from 2 rooms spread over 500 square feet on the 5th floor of a building called Abhijit in Ahmedabad's Law Garden, not far from the Mithakali area. And so, I mean, the suggestion that is again being made is the same suggestion that was made by in the Hindenburg Research report, is that it's a very small outfit. Shah Dhandaria and Company is a small outfit. In comparison to the companies it is auditing, which is notably your Adani Enterprises. And the point is, you have, or I have the name of that company, another company with which, the only other company with which your organization has been, is an auditor. So the suggestion again that is being made, and maybe you can elaborate on this, is, it doesn't really work, because according to the Companies Act of 2013, the rules, all of these aim at promoting transparency, protecting investors, improving the administration of companies, ensuring good corporate governance, etc., etc., etc. And that this doesn't really work when the audit firm concerned is such a small one. So in a sense, I'm repeating the same set of questions that were raised earlier by the Hindenburg Research Report.
So this 507 Abhijit one is our registered office for Vishal Tiwary and Company LLP. Our indirect taxation team is placed over there, a team of 20 people. The audit assurance team, are currently located at one of the Adani's premises. We are sitting at their client place only. So for us, a team of another 20 people are sitting here, and we as we have this giant of assignment engagement of Adani Group, so we were offered that uh, very much communication, physical interaction is required between the auditors and the auditees. So they offered us to be located in nearby to their offices. So while they were sitting in the same premise, but recently they moved to another area of the city. So we being
Okay.
sitting over here.
This is the same place, Shantigram, which is between Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, that's the corporate headquarters of the Adani Group. So the question that would arise, and I'm asking this question to you as a layperson, isn't there any conflict of interest? You are supposed to be auditing a company and you're operating out of its own premises. Is there not, is there not need for some arm's length distance?
But this, we are performing a audit on a client's place. It is a general practice in the industry. The client calls us for auditing, and we are also the data access is limited on remote locations. So the Adanis have the management has asked us to be located in their premise, so that the data access and the access to books is easier, and also there are some data security aspects they have.
Okay. According to the rules that have been framed under the Companies Act of 2013, that mandates rotation of an auditing firm after 2 consecutive 5-year terms. So if that is indeed the case, and you may please correct me if I haven't understood it properly, in your case, in the case of Adani Total Gas, you had been, your term was not over. You were given a second term on the 26th of July, 2022. And then on the 2nd of May, just about a year, or less than a year, in fact, less than a year, you've decided to resign. In the case of, say, Adani Wilmar, it moved from Shah Dhandaria, I beg your pardon, to the Dharmesh Parak and Co. after 1 5-year term. So I'm unable to understand how these rules operate, about the terms that a corporate entity can have a statutory editor, 2 terms, and then change, or even before that. Would you be kind enough to explain the situation?
Sorry, could you please just repeat last 30 seconds? There was some lag in the network.
I'm saying that the rules under the Companies Act specify that you cannot have an auditor after 2 5-year terms have been completed.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to understand why, in the case of Adani Total Gas, Shah Dhandaria were appointed for a second term of 5 years on the 26th of July, 2022. Less than a year later, you have decided to resign. The firm, Shah Dhandaria, has resigned. And I had another example to show that in the case of Adani Wilmar, it moved from Shah Dhandaria to Dharmesh Parekh after one 5-year term. So I'm unable to understand the logic or the justification.
So this brings me back to the answer to question number one that you asked. So this preoccupation. So in the recent circumstances, we have evaluated that the resources that are being deployed on Adani Total Gas Limited needs to be deployed to Adani Enterprises Limited, and also the company was since a year looking to appoint Big Four or Big Six auditors in view of the foreign fundraising they are going to have. So the promoters were anyway looking to appoint a Big Six firm. However, we were reappointed in last year, looking at the uh, the uncertainties around the timelines when the company is going to raise those funds. So we were being reappointed. However, over this period of 1 year, the company has found Grant Thornton as their succeeding auditors. So since this event was finalized in this year, and we had our internal evaluation to reallocate the teams, so we find it fit to resign from this year.
All right. Yeah, all I can say is that the decision to resign has raised several questions in the minds of investors, and I do not know what the regulatory authorities have to say. I mean, I'm saying all this in the context of all that is happening, the Hindenburg Research Report, the Supreme Court's appointment of a committee, and the role of the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Please correct me if I am wrong. Besides the resignation of Shah Dhandaria as the auditor of Adani Total Gas, it has been reported that all other group companies, the major group companies, with the exclusion of NDTV, formerly New Delhi Television, and Adani Transmission, for the results, the date of the announcement of the results is awaited, all of them have qualified their opinion in their audit reports. And all the reports signed by the names you mentioned, the big four auditors, cite the same reason that there is a case that is currently prevailing, going on in the Supreme Court of India, which relates to a writ petition that has been filed against the group. I am going by the report I have read in the Economic Times and other publications about this case. I don't have anything beyond that. Yes, your comments would be much appreciated.
Yes, so NDTV hasn't qualified. We have NDTV as one of the components in Adani Enterprises Limited. So we've conversed with their auditors. They haven't qualified on any ground. Other group companies, barring Adani Ports and Adani Transmissions, whose results are yet awaited, I believe all of them have qualified their reports on the similar ground that there is a lack of evidence, audit evidence that is required to frame the opinion and to give the clean report on this matter. And since a higher authority, SEBI and Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court, are yet evaluating this matter, we have reserved our opinion.
All right. Shubham, I've been unable to understand why the Life Insurance Corporation, which, as you know, is the biggest insurance company in India and one of the biggest in the world, and the mutual fund connected with the LIC mutual fund, and the main life insurance corporation itself, they appear to be speaking in two different voices. They appear to be at odds with each other about the appointment of Shah Dhandaria and Company LLP as the auditor for Adani Enterprises. While the Life Insurance Corporation has supported the appointment, the life insurance, LIC mutual fund has not supported the appointment and citing inadequate disclosure of the auditor's remuneration in the annual general meeting notice of fiscal year 2022, which is required as per the regulation 36.5 of the SEBI regulations. Your comments, this disagreement between two entities which are really part of the same umbrella. And I mean, these obviously are raising questions about the transparency and the disclosure practices of Adani Enterprises.
So honestly, I'm not really familiar about this fact that you are placing. Is this coming from the notice for annual general meeting and the
That's correct. That's correct. I have yes, I have these have come from the notices. This is the appointments that have come. I mean, this is again information which is in the public domain.
I might have to have a look at it.
All right.
Because I'm not aware about any such comment that LIC has made on us.
All right. LIC has supported the appointment, but LIC mutual fund has not. That's the point I wanted to make.
Okay, I'll just have to have a look at it, and only then I'll
you feel free to get back to me if you want to add anything to what you've stated. There is a proxy advisory firm based in Bengaluru, Karnataka, called Institutional Investor Advisory Services, IIAS. Now, that is, it has said that you, Shubham Ruhadgi, you signed off on the Adani Total Gas's audit for the financial year 22-23 on the 2nd of May 2023 on behalf of Vishal Tiwary and Company LLP, that you were previously flagged for not having the requisite experience to audit a large company of its kind, and that this proxy advisory firm, IIAS, have advised the shareholders of 4 Adani Group entities to vote against several resolutions, including the reappointment of Shri Gautam Adani as the Managing Director of Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone. So, what are your comments?
So this is again the suggestions that this body have made to the shareholders to assist them in their voting practices, which again is based on just it's their opinion, I would say. And as I answered to your question previously, our institute, our mother institute of Chartered Accounts of India, does not lay any differences between a young chartered accountant and a veteran. So in that view, I would not like to make any comment on this, but I would totally place a denial against that.
Okay, the petitioner in the Supreme Court, who has filed a fresh petition opposing the plea by the SEBI, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, for an extension of its term by 6 months. His name is Vishal Tiwary. He has alleged that the delay could allow or could result in data manipulation, tampering with evidence, and the allegation is that the Securities and Exchange Board of India is trying to draw out a process, an investigation process, for much longer than it should. So that's a view that has been expressed in that petition. So what do you have to say about this view that has been expressed by Vishal Tiwary, the petitioner, before the Supreme Court of India?
So this again is another opinion that Mr. Vishal had. And since SEBI, Supreme Court, and the committee that has been formed, they are all independent bodies now. They are making their assessment, they are placing their queries with the company is answering to all of it. So we as an auditors do not have any say in this. The regulators are performing their work, and the management so far we have been told is cooperating with the regulators and have been answering all the questions and queries that the regulators have.
Would you like to comment on Milestone Trade Links, which is an entity which is claiming that its main activity is trading in silver and gold? It's located in Rewar Infrastructure in Ahmedabad. But the point that has to be noted in this context is that Milestone Trade Links, as per its 2022 corporate filings, is the same. Its registered phone number is the same as that of Dharmesh Dhandaria, the co-auditor for Adani Green Energy, earlier an auditor of Adani Enterprises, Adani Total Gas, Adani Transmission. So I'm just wondering whether you can throw some more light on the links between Milestone Trade Links and the Adani Group.
We have assessed this company as one of, for related party assessment, we have taken this company. And so far, the information we have and the documents we have, the company is not related to Adani Enterprises or Adani Total Gas Limited.
I see.
So far, this punching of telephone number is concerned. We honestly don't have any idea how this number came up, and also there could be many possibilities. So to answer to that, it would be a difficult stand for an auditor of another entity.
I see. I wanted to ask you, and this is really my last question, is that how come your website is, no, before I ask the last question, one other question, penultimate one. You know, all these allegations of related party transactions which are there in the Hindenburg Research Report, it's a long report running into 32,000 words. And in case you don't know, I'm the only journalist named in that report, as I feature in question number 84, and they make some references to me. That's besides the point. The question I had is all these allegations of related party transaction. How is it that auditors didn't find this out? That you had to wait for a New York-based company to point it all out and make it public? And I mean, I'm a little puzzled as to how this happened and why this happened.
I'm sorry, can you repeat this?
I'm saying that how come auditors, including Shah Dhandaria, didn't highlight or flag all these related party transactions, these allegations, which are there in Hindenburg Research Report, in the report of Hindenburg Research? How come?
No, but see, we as an auditors cannot cast doubt upon a certain thing since only for the fact that it is high in scale. The company has voluminous related party transactions. We have our designed audit procedures and review procedures around that to obtain a satisfactory or reasonable assurance on those transactions. Also, both the group itself is working on backward integration practices. So the related party transactions, the scale and the volume has to happen at this large scale.
Okay.
So we as an auditors have performed our audit procedures and we are satisfied with the results that we have. And the company, on the company front, the relevant disclosures and the compliances have already been made.
Shubham, I have a last question for you. You've been very kind. You've given me your time. You have held forth at some length and explained so many things. And the viewers of AdaniWatch have learned for the first time that several auditors have qualified the accounts of the companies, entities in the Adani Group. But there's one point on which people have been wondering a lot. Shah Dhandaria and Company Limited Liability Partnership, a firm of chartered accountants. Why is your website missing? Why has the website gone defunct? And why are people having to go to these archived versions of the website of your firm. This has made people wonder. They're wondering, do you have something to hide?
So this website, like I said earlier, it was taken down sometime in the month of July last year. And this was in relation to certain domain issue that we were facing. Uh, there were some SNS level issues, security level issues, and our IT consultant they suggested us to take this down to limit any malware attacks, and which is why the site was taken down. There was nothing. Also, the institute or any regulation or any laws that are applicable to us or the audit practice does not mandate us to have a website. So this was just in the interest of the users that we have taken down the website. By and large, all the information relating to our firm is publicly available.
So thank you very much, Shubham, for giving me your time. And if I can briefly summarize for the viewers of Adani Watch, we've been talking for more than 40 minutes. It's nearly 45 minutes we'll be talking. To summarize your points, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Number one, you say that there is nothing out of the ordinary or illegal that a small firm comprising relatively few auditors, many of them, almost all of them in their 20s, should be auditing the accounts of a giant conglomerate like Adani Enterprises, which is a flagship of the Adani Group, and which you pointed out has many subsidiaries, 200 plus subsidiaries. So you think there is nothing out of the ordinary and certainly nothing illegal. And you think that the comments or the criticism made in the Hindenburg Research Report that this is that your firm is inexperienced, that you lack the capacity or the capability of handling such a mammoth mandate is misplaced, according to you. You have also explained the circumstances under which Vishal Tiwary resigned as the statutory auditor of Adani Total Gas and why it continues to be auditing Adani Enterprises together with other auditors. You have said there is nothing that is questionable about the fact that you're operating out of small rooms, and you are also that you're operating out of the premises of the Adani Group. And you also do believe that there is nothing. I mean, you say that you were not aware of the fact that the Life Insurance Corporation and the LIC Mutual Fund have expressed contrary opinions about the appointment of your auditing firm, and you disagree with the report of the institutional investor advisory services, that you don't have the necessary experience to audit a large company like this. And you have also pointed out the links between other companies where you used to work, like the one that is headed by Mr. Dharmesh Dhandaria. And you've also pointed out about the company which I had questioned you about, Milestone Trade Links, which was earlier a 100% owned subsidiary of Aditya Corpex. And to summarize, and the main point, which I think a lot of people are not aware of at this particular point of time, as we are talking in the afternoon of the 8th of May, is that several auditors have qualified the accounts of Adani Enterprises, Adani Green, Adani Total Gas, Adani Power, Adani Wilmar, Ambuja Cements, ACC at this current point of time. Am I right?
Yes, I believe Adani Wilmar have given a clean opinion.
On Adani Wilmar, what did you say?
Adani Wilmar might have given a clean opinion so far.
Yeah,
remember.
I don't also have the details, but I just want to say
The names you mentioned have the auditors have
that's
qualified
correct.
it.
That's correct.
Yes.
The information I have that it's not been modified. Yeah, unmodified. So thank you so much. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate your candidness in answering all the questions that I've asked. And to all the viewers of Adani Watch, thank you very much for being with us on this discussion featuring a young 29-year-old auditor.
Yes, sir.
Shubham
Could I
Rohan.
just request you one thing?
Yes, please.
I just wanted to disclaim that these discussions that we had and the answers that I've made to your questions are solely my opinion, and I believe these are to best of my knowledge and experience that I have in audit assurance and specifically auditing Adani Group.
Thank you.
Also, I just wanted to place this that whatever you write or whatever you opine after this discussion, could you please share me a draft version of that so that I can also vet that once if there is any
The
factual or
No,
technical
I will be essentially putting out the recording. That's all. The recording as it is.
on. Okay,
On
and
That's it. I mean, I will be summarizing these main points in the text will be based on what we have just said. I mean, in fact, I don't also need to mention the text very much. It can just be a very, very straightforward report of. Everything that I've had to say is all there. We've discussed it. I have nothing more to add. That's all.
okay, looks fine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shubham, once again, on behalf of the viewers of Adani Watch for giving me this opportunity to speak with you. And I wish you, time alone will tell what happens to the Adani Group in the coming months and the coming years. And thank you very much for being with us. I conclude the interview
Thank
here
you for having me.
and now.